Hi everybody. Should be broadcasting live now. I just wanted to do a quick impromptu webinar from Athens because I wanted to test my audio and video setup on YouTube Live, make sure everything's working smoothly for the How to Live Like Socrates course that I've got coming up. So I thought I'd say a little bit about my trip to Athens and some of the things that I've noticed when I've been here. So apologies for the lighting backdrop. That's the only thing I haven't really sorted out yet. Hopefully the audio sounds okay and the video is looking okay. So this is my kind of little portable studio setup. It's not where I normally broadcast from, but like it looks like the quality should be okay. Let me know what you think of the audio. Okay, so a couple of things. I've published some blog articles recently with some photos. I'm not the world's best photographer, but I've taken a few snapshots of places that I've been that might be interesting to people who are into Socrates or into Stoicism as well. So a couple of things that I mentioned that you might want to look at are the Areopagus, which is like a big rock that's at the foot of the Acropolis. So there's not much to see there now. But my understanding is that the archaeologists found evidence of two large buildings that were beside it, which are believed to have possibly been philosophical schools. And in the Acts of the Apostles, there's a reference to St. Paul speaking at the Areopagus, and like you can just climb on this big boulder now. There's lots of tourists there and stuff, but there's not much indication of what was there. But Paul quotes a line from the poet Aratus, who was a student of Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, about Zeus. And we're told that he's talking to Epicurean and Stoic philosophers. And so there's a reference there to the Epicureans and the Stoics in the New Testament, which a lot of people don't realise. And so there was possibly a school there. And there's evidence of a building that they believe may have been a philosophical school. Another place that I visited that you can go and look at, I think it was unearthed in 1996, so fairly recently, is the ruined foundations of a palestra, a wrestling school, which was part of a fairly large area just outside the city wall of ancient Athens, called the Lyceum. And it's normally associated with Aristotle. But in fact, many philosophers taught at the Lyceum, and we're told that Chrysippus, the third head of the Stoa, used to speak at the Lyceum as well. And so there's a connection with Stoicism, but also more importantly, the Sophists taught at the Lyceum. And where there are Sophists, there's Socrates. So Socrates, we're told several times, used to go. Plato mentions this. I don't think Xenophon mentions it, but Plato several times talks about the fact that Socrates used to like to walk to the Lyceum and even spend the entire day there. After the symposium, when everyone else is drunk and fallen asleep, Socrates is still awake and goes with one of his students first thing in the morning to the Lyceum so he can hang out there all day and talk to sophists and other teachers and to the followers, the students, about philosophy. So the Lyceum, not a lot of people know this, it's an important site, not just in terms of the Aristotelian school, but also in terms of the Sophists and in terms of Socrates, and it has a connection with Stoicism as well. So not only did the Stoics teach at the Stoa Poikile, which is the famous porch where Stoicism originated, but there are they possibly also taught the Lyceum, and there may have been another Stoic school in Athens as well, beside the Areopagus. There's so many things I could say. Next to the Acropolis is also the theatre of Dionysius, where they used to go to laugh at Socrates, as it were. So almost certainly, Aristophanes' play The Clouds was first performed there, and it's a satire about Socrates, which portrays him interestingly as a sort of cross between a sophist and a natural philosopher, like Anaxagoras, who's the first natural philosopher to teach at Athens. And so that's an important site in terms of the history of philosophy as well. It's one of our earliest sources actually for a description of Socrates, comes from a play that was performed there. And also associated with the festival of Dionysius was the image of Silenus, who is this kind of comic bearded figure, a drunken old man who was the teacher of the god Dionysius. And for some weird reason, images of him, of which there are many, look strikingly like the images we have of Socrates. So we also have these images which the Romans later erected, but also there may have been things like that there before, which look like a caricature of Socrates at the Theatre Dionysius. You can go and see them. And the Athenians must have been conscious of that. Plato actually comments, or he portrays Alcibiades commenting on the fact that Socrates looks like Silenus. And then there's the Stoa Poikile. There's a lot that I could say about that. I put a blog post up about that. There's not much to see there. But again, there's a lot of interesting things about it, because Diogenes Laertius tells us that not only was it an important site where the Stoics taught, but it was also almost like an art gallery. There were 4 huge paintings of battles in front of which Zeno used to lecture. So think about the implication of that for the stuff that he was. And I'll be publishing details shortly about the course that I'm going to be running from here, called How to Live Like Socrates. You might be interested in. And we may be getting some buffering on the video, so that was one of the things that I wanted to test. So I'll say goodbye for now, and we'll have a look and see what the video and audio quality has turned out like. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.